Hi, and welcome back to My Glass Trades Glass Chat How-To. And today I was going to show you how to cut a piece of plate glass. And by plate glass, I mean it's 1/4 inch thick. That's what the industry calls it, plate glass. And this is just a scrap piece. It's a smaller piece, but I was just going to show you a couple basic cuts. And then later on I'll show you something a little bit bigger and how we cut and break it. But on a smaller piece, typically, just to make sure that I have it square, I'll take a measurement. Let's say I want to make this one 16 inches long. Then I score it on both ends, just a little tick so I can see my mark. Okay. After I got my mark there, I lay down my guide. And the reason I do it on both places is because a lot of times these, even though they're supposed to be square and you can adjust them, if the guy before me set it down on the ground too hard, it might have knocked it out of square. So I like just double checking with a measurement. Then I go ahead and put my cutter, and I like the oil cutters. Basically, it's a cutter that's got a reservoir for oil to be put in it, so I always have oil in it. And that lines up pretty well, so I'm going to go ahead and score it. Just a nice smooth motion. There's a couple ways to snap this off. I'm going to do it the way I would normally do it on a piece of this size. I use the base of my cutter basically as a block, and I'll put that underneath right in the middle of the score, where the score is, and apply pressure to both sides, and just snap it. You see I got a nice clean crisp cut. I cut about 4 inches off there. Okay. Now another way that you can do it, I'll show you with something a little bit smaller. I'm just going to cut this off about 14 inches, so now I'm only cutting a couple inches off. Go ahead and score it for my marks. Some guys use a marker, but I like to just score it myself. Okay, and then once I make my score, and this time instead of using my cutter base as the point to snap it at, I'm going to use a pair of running pliers. As you can see here, you pick these up from various different suppliers, and you see the line in the center of it. I want to center that up with where my cut is, and then just squeeze gently, and that will snap the glass. Okay. And there I snapped a couple inches off. So that's another way to do it. And I'm going to show you one other way, which is a little bit trickier. And I'll just cut an inch off of it. So I'll go ahead and score it. Score it. I'll make my mark all the way down. Okay, now on this one I'm only cutting an inch off. And on 1/4 inch glass, that's kind of tough. It makes it a lot harder to break off clean. Otherwise, you're just pulling chunks of glass off. But the way I do this typically then is I take my glass cutter, and with the ball end on the end of it, I'll just tap until I start seeing it running. You can see I just started to get a run there on the glass there. It's run down about 2 inches into it. Then what I can do is take my plate pliers and apply pressure here and pull that off, and you get a nice clean break. If you don't get it started like that on a nice clean break, what will happen is it'll chunk off, and I'll have to chunk it all off, and then I'll have to spend a lot of time cleaning the edge up, or just recut another piece. It just takes a long time to clean it up, so it's easier just to get it started by a couple taps and get that going. Then if you have a big sheet, and I'll show you in another video, but just an example, just imagine this is a 4 foot by 8 foot sheet, and I'm going to try and cut it and snap it myself, and there's a lot of weight there. It's kind of hard to do, but I'll show you what I would do then. It's basically the same type of deal. I'm just going to cut it roughly here in the middle without measuring, just get an idea. You would score it all the way down the long sheet, and then typically I'll have somebody come and help me. I'll pull one end of it up, and I'll stick a big stick underneath of it, which is just totally straight. It's not shaped like this, but it's just a real long straight board. And I'll put it over the center of it, and then just apply pressure both sides, and that'll snap it in two. But I'll show you that in a later video with a bigger piece of glass when I have help doing that. But that's basically how you would do it on a big sheet. Is just straddle it, apply pressure, and it'll snap in two. And if you have more questions, let us know at My Glass Trades. Thank you.